Hello guys, this is Rahul for RevSportz and now I'm here at the East Bengal ground, one of the oldest club in the Kolkata Maidan, and we all know that Kolkata Maidan has been the pioneer of the Indian football because not only the three famous clubs of the Kolkata Maidan, that Mohun Bagan, Mohammedan and East Bengal, but a number of players who have showcased their ability in the national colour, just like the way our Indian football team has made a mark in the 2023. And in this very special episode, we are gonna take a look back at all the high moments of the Indian football team in 2023, and not only national team. We'll also look back at some of the best moments of the 2023 for the domestic football like ISL, I-League and lot more. So while looking back at some of the high moments of Indian national football team, of course we're gonna start with the Hero Tri-Nation Cup triumph because it was a very crucial tournament, though it is a friendly, but Team India had to rub their shoulders against some of the formidable teams like Kyrgyzstan and Myanmar and defeated both of them to achieve the title. And our Indian football team followed that with a triumph in the Hero Intercontinental Cup at Bhubaneswar. In that tournament, they have beaten Lebanon and Vanuatu to claim the title. And their story doesn't end here because they followed that with another incredible triumph in the SAFF Cup. And this time, they retained the title by defeating whom? The formidable Kuwait in the final of the SAFF Championship.
It was very special because we were playing at home, and this is my home ground with my club as well. So making that save, winning a trophy again for the national team in front of the home crowd was absolutely amazing.
I think we were really happy because we really worked hard 30 days. In Odisha, the conditions weren't great. But of course, it wasn't great for any of the other countries who were playing there. A small backstory: a lot of us had just finished our season, and generally, what happens is you get a break. I think not only physically but also mentally, you just want to switch off. But unfortunately or fortunately, people who were there in the national camp did not get that break. We went right from our season ending to going to the camp, and one of the reasons why we are more happy after getting the trophy is because that sacrifice, I won't say sacrifice, it's a big word, but that little bit of discipline really paid off at the end. Because I still remember the first day when we were in the camp, a lot of us were a little bit bogged down because of the long season, and we're not trying to give any excuses, but I'm just telling you what happened. And then really focusing on the 30 days, making sure we train hard, making sure we eat right, sleep at time, and all this normal, usual cliche stuff. And to cap it up with the trophy at the end, beating a team like Lebanon is probably why it is more fruitful.
So at the moment when we all were celebrating our triumph in the SAFF and Intercontinental Cup, there were confusion regarding the participation of Indian football team in the Hangzhou Asian Games. But our government and the Sports Federation ensured at the last moment that our team goes to Hangzhou. So they reached Hangzhou 18 hours before their first game against the host China, and they lost against China 5-1. But our boys showed potential because there were only few experienced players in the likes of Sandesh Jingan and Sunil Chhetri. But most of the players were inexperienced. But still, our boys made a strong comeback, defeating Bangladesh and playing a draw against Malaysia to ensure their spot in the pre-quarter final against Saudi Arabia. Though they lost in the pre-quarter against Saudi Arabia, but this is a scoreline against the top Asian giants that we have seen, very rare in the last few years.
If we speak about fight, I'm very proud of them, and I told them very clearly before the game, with good fighting, we might come to a draw at the end of the game. But to win games like this, there needs to be certain quality, which we didn't have obviously today. We need to be honest, congratulate to Saudi Arabia team. They're very quality side and deserve to win today, even with huge difference. We were lucky to finish the game 2-0. Diraj was fantastic on the goal. But I feel sorry because most of their chances came from our silly mistakes. Silly mistakes in passing, which is again point about basic technique, skills which were missed in development of these players, and India needs to start thinking about these development programs, about grassroots, about everything, so the future might be bright then. On the other hand, I appreciate all the boys who were with us for this tournament. It was not easy to get them released from the clubs. I give big thanks to everyone who was helping us to come over here to witness such experience and provide such a challenge to our boys. It will be good if they learn something out of it for the future. Big lesson from this tournament is don't send us anywhere if we cannot get our best players to represent the country. That's the first point. Also, do not send us anywhere if you cannot provide time for us to work and prepare well. We were here exposed representing India. We took it well on our shoulders. I think that India and supporters can be proud on these boys who came unprepared here without playing or having one single training session together. And today we played against team which is together from 4 years ago. They started working as a unit, as a club, and working on a daily basis for last 4.5, 5 years. So you can see what kind of a difference that can make. If we can make such things happen in India, then we don't need to be afraid for our future.
After the Asian Games, here comes the Medica Cup and Kings Cup, the two tournaments which are organized, as a preparation stage for our Indian football team for the FIFA World Cup Qualifiers. Though our boys showed potential, they played well, but the result didn't go in their favor, and all our football fans were a bit worried because, they were gearing up for the FIFA World Cup Qualifiers. And so now, we will take a look how our boys performed in the FIFA World Cup qualifier. Now coming to the FIFA World Cup qualifier, though our Indian football team was drawn in a very tough group because alongside Qatar, Afghanistan and Kuwait, but still there was a light at the end of the tunnel because, though Indian team had to face Qatar, but also the two other teams are Afghanistan and Kuwait, the two teams that Indian team has faced before many times, and they have got great result against them. So though our Indian football team, started the FIFA World Cup qualifier on a high note, defeating Kuwait at their own backyard, but again at Bhubaneswar they suffered a 3-0 defeat against Qatar. But we were at the Bhubaneswar to cover that match, and we have seen some optimistic faces of the fans because they were hopeful that though they have lost against Qatar, but this time they have all witnessed a different Indian team at the pitch. And we are also hopeful that our Indian team will move to the later stages of this tournament and their next game will be in March against Afghanistan. And I think this time our boys will move to the next round of the tournament.
When I look back when we started 4.5 years ago and everything what happened in the meantime, I'm amazed how much we have done, to be honest. With the reconstruction of the team, with 2 years of pandemic, not being able to play any home games whatsoever, not being able to organize our travel in a proper way, with problems with pandemic in India and everything what was going on. At the end we survived everything, we fulfilled all our goals. We have the stable team as far as I'm concerned, the best which can be there placed for India in these big tournaments you mentioned, and now we need to do the best of our abilities. The sad thing is obviously that we're going to miss some key, very important players in our team at this Asian Cup, which will lower our strength, but the replacements, whoever they are, whoever is fulfilling the places and sports positions from these players needs to do the job for us.
And now coming to the domestic football, of course we're going to talk about the ISL champions, the Mohun Bagan Super Giants. And it was a very special victory because at the midway of the league, no one expected that Mohun Bagan going to finish as the champions of the league, but ultimately they did. They finished by defeating Bengaluru FC. They won the title. And of course we're going to talk about another team, that is Mumbai City FC, who were the Shield winners. Though they didn't win the league, but still they grabbed the top spot in the AFC Champions League. And talking about Mohun Bagan, that victory was very special because that was what made their owner Sanjeev Goenka to change their club name from ATK Mohun Bagan to Mohun Bagan Super Giants. And now after the ISL, of course, how could we forget Punjab FC, because they become the first team in the history of Indian football to get promotion to the ISL from the I-League. They dominated the whole I-League, and to ensure that they get a spot in the top tier football of the Indian football ranking. And while talking about some of the champion moment in the club football, how could we forget some significant steps that were taken by our Kollan Choube, because in this year it was for the first time that Santosh Trophy final, the champion of the Santosh Trophy final was decided abroad in the Saudi Arabia. And not only that, for the first time it was the 3rd division I-League was organized to give big platform to the number of clubs in Indian football team and to act as a launch pad for some of the young talents in India to show their potential at the club level. And not only that, it was the very first time when IWL has been organized in a home and away format, and also in a double round robin format to give more matches to our Indian women footballer to showcase their potential. So these are the few significant steps that were taken by Kullan Choube, and hope it will augur well for our Indian football team in the upcoming years. This was a recap of our Indian football calendar in 2023, but the upcoming year 2024 has a lot to offer in store, because our Indian football team still has a great chance to qualify in the next stage of the FIFA World Cup Qualifier, and they have 2 home games against Afghanistan and Kuwait. Hopefully they will make a mark in the later stage of the tournament. But before that, the big action is in January, because in Doha our Indian team will be participating in the AFC Asian Cup, and they will have to face some top Asian ranked team like Australia, Syria and Uzbekistan. And to trail the Indian football team, me and Swapnil from RevSportz will be there in Doha to cover the Indian football team. So stay tuned to RevSportz for more.
Go a small important jump, something which should be given. India should always be in the Asia Cup, always. And I just don't want to add pressure on the coming teams that is going to try to qualify, but we should always be in the Asia Cup, because that gives us a very integral chance to rub our shoulders with the best in Asia. So now when we play Uzbekistan, Australia, who I think are in the top 8 of Asia, and also Syria, who are knocking the doors of being in the first 10, we will get a good reminder as to exactly how much we have improved. So it is very important for us to keep qualifying for Asia Cup, so that we can attract to play against better opponents. The more better opponents we play, the more we will know exactly where we are, how much we have to improve. It is as simple as that. We can keep training, we can keep playing at our levels, but if we don't jump, we will never know.